Hi, today I would like to take the opportunity to talk to you a little bit about something that's close to me and something that I care about a lot. Um, I would like to talk about wildlife conservation and how hunting can actually conserve land and the populations of wildlife in and around it. You might be thinking, from an outside standpoint, how is hunting conservation? Well, in the same standpoint, as an avid hunter, I understand that although that statement can be a little broad and a little not really make a whole lot of sense, I hope through this PowerPoint that you'll be able to understand that. So first off, I would like to talk about just the word conservation and how it's defined. Conservation is the act of preserving, guarding, and protecting. So when you're talking about a single animal, hunting doesn't really fit that definition because how is killing something preserving it? Now you can talk about preserving the species, antlers, meat, pelt, etc. The list goes on and on where you can talk about that. So I can see how an outsider's view of hunting is actually not conservation, but hopefully I can change that view through this. So today I'll discuss first off how hunting protects wildlife species, and then I'm going to go in and talk about the benefits to habitats and the community. And then lastly, I want to talk a little bit about the skills and life lessons that can be learned through hunting. So, hunting protects wildlife species. Just for a quick little statement, because I'm kind of a stats guy, in 1907, only 41,000 elk remained in North America. That may seem like a lot, but in reality, that's actually not. Thanks to money and hard work invested by many hunters and outsiders and donors through the habitats of elk, there are over 1 million elk in North America to date. And also, another big part of my life is duck hunting. That's usually what I'm most passionate about, that and whitetail hunting. So, duck conservation is really huge. In 1901, there was literally little to no ducks flying in North America because there were no limits. So, people could literally kill as many as they wanted on any given day. Now, thanks to the hard work of companies like Ducks Unlimited, um, you're having to buy duck stamps every year, and that's keeping rules regulated by game wardens and such. And thanks to those efforts through those donations and buying duck stamps, conserving wetlands has increased the population of over 100 species of ducks to over 44 million, which is a huge increase compared to what it used to be just a century ago. Now, diving into my second point, I would like to talk a little bit about the benefits to the habitat and the community. Um, Hunting has a major value for highway safety as well. This is something that people don't think about, but a little side fact, insurance companies, you see it a lot. Deer getting hit. You see the deer crossing the road signs everywhere pretty much when you're on a highway, especially in Texas. So insurance companies have separate claims specifically just for road accidents that involve people hitting deer, which I find very, very crazy. I have a friend that works in an insurance company, and that's something she was talking to me about. And you'd be surprised how many times that actually happens. So for every deer hit by a motorist, it's actually hunters take 6 deers. So as hunters help manage those growing numbers also in these habitats, not only the species that they're hunting, a huge part of it is hunting predators. So your average predator like your coyote or your bobcat or your wolf, the government spends millions to control these predators and varmints, and that's a lot of money being put into budget and state taxes when in reality hunters are more than welcome to go out and do that. You see it a lot in farms and ranches. That's people's livelihood. That cattle, sheep, chickens. So when you're having a lot of predators that aren't being hunted and they're just repopulating themselves and destroying crops and stuff like that, that becomes a huge problem to that rancher, that farmer, or just your average person that maybe have like a small farm where they do it on the side just for fun. So providing an outlet so that those animals can, their populations be tamed is huge. Not only because if you just let those populations grow, then they're just going to grow so much that they're just going to kill constantly your animals, so then that just backlashes onto, how much money you're going to make in that fiscal year. Um, so that holding those populations off, and another huge one in Texas, which I'm sure many of you hear about sometimes, is the pig population, the wild hog population. Um, by far the most destructive predator there is. It's a nuisance animal. There's no season for it specifically for that because of, these, their breeding cycles aren't like humans. Like they can have a litter of 12 piglets every 6 months. So those populations grow at an increasing rate. So if that's not controlled, that's one of the most destructive. Like I mentioned earlier, that will a group of say 20 pigs could easily totally wipe out a 50-acre land of corn in just a matter and just roll through it. So that's something that through hunting and protecting those species, you're also protecting the habitats that they're involved in. And then lastly, I would like to talk a little bit about lessons that can be learned and passed down through generations of hunting. Something that you hear a lot of people talk about when they first start hunting, what got them into hunting. For me, it was my father, and that's, you hear that a lot with people, especially with fishing too. Um, it's just something that you can learn so much from just your average person, six pack Joe that um, hangs out and plays video games or um, does other things that kids do that maybe don't get involved with hunting. Um, I just think that the discipline and the organization that you can learn from it is just bar none to other things that you can learn in life. Not only you learn gun safety and other things like that, but it's being out in the wild and experiencing nature. Just that's something that I think you can experience with anything else in life. So um, I hope through this lesson that you can learn a little bit about how I believe that hunting is conservation, and that through hunting you actually are protecting the species that are inhabiting North America and all over the world. I appreciate you listening. Thank you.